The first time I went fishing, I was 9 years old, standing on the banks of the Broad River with a Zebco 33 clutched in my hands. My best friends, Jake and Tommy, were beside me, each as clueless as I was. We had a tackle box full of tangled lures we borrowed from my granddad, a can of night crawlers we dug up behind Jake's barn, and an old styrofoam cooler filled with half-melted ice. We cast our lines in the muddy water, talking big like we knew what we were doing. Tommy got his hook snagged on a submerged log and spent the better part of an hour yanking on it, cussing under his breath like he'd heard his dad do. Jake landed the first fish, a tiny bluegill no bigger than his hand, but you'd have thought he pulled in a record bass the way he hollered. By the end of the day we smelled like fish, river mud, and sweat, but we had 2 decent-sized catfish to show for it. We took them home and fried them up in Jake's mama's cast-iron skillet, sitting on the back porch and stuffing our faces like kings. As we got older, fishing turned into hunting. By the time we were 16, we had graduated from cane poles and farm ponds to shotguns and deer stands. We spent countless mornings tucked into the tree line on the ridge, the cold biting through our camo jackets. There was an unspoken rule. Whoever got the first deer that season had to buy the others a round of burgers from Clyde's Diner. That first year, I was the lucky one. A big 8-pointer stepped into the clearing at sunrise, and with my heart hammering in my chest, I squeezed the trigger. When it was done, Jake and Tommy pounded me on the back like I just won the Super Bowl. Life kept moving. College, jobs, marriages, things changed, but the river and the ridge stayed the same. Every year, no matter how busy we got, we made time. Fishing trips became a retreat from reality, a time to crack open a few cold ones, talk about life, and remind ourselves we were still those kids from way back when. Hunting became less about filling the freezer and more about tradition. One crisp November morning, standing on the same ridge where we'd hunted since we were teenagers, Jake turned to me and said, "Man, I hope our boys grow up to love this as much as we did." I looked out at the frost-covered field, the same one we'd walked through countless times, and nodded. "They will," I said. "We'll make sure of it. Because some things, good friends, the river, the ridge, never really change."